Good day and welcome Modiragatsi 2022 participants. This is week 12 of Modiragatsi 2022. I cannot believe that time just flew by. By now, you should be familiar with my face, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Karin Skitter and I'm a final year mechanical engineering student. Prof. Leonta is again in Germany, which is very exciting, and she will unfortunately not be able to join us today since she is busy with a meeting with the government of Germany, which is also very exciting and very interesting. So, but nevertheless, and without any further ado, let's continue with the program for today. So I would just like to remind you again about Femgineering 2022. So we actually had a meeting about Femgineering 2022 and what is going to happen at the Femgineering event. And I can tell you it is going to be extremely interesting and it is just going to be amazing. So I would like to invite you to come and attend the event in person, either in Joburg at Siemens Park or in Potchefstroom at the Noordwes-universiteit Faculty of Engineering. And I think COVID has really taught us to value the time that we have to spend with other people. So I would just like to encourage you to come attend in person. It is also available online, but I think you are going to gain a better experience if you attend it in person. So if you attend engineering in Potchefstroom, after the high tea, there's going to be a facilities tour. We're going to walk around campus as well as engineering campus, and you're also going to be able to experience the solar car and see the solar car, how it drives around and all of that. And different lecturers will tell you all about what different kinds of engineering is and how it fits in the solar car. For example, the mechanical engineers are responsible for the aerodynamics of the solar car, while the chemical engineers are responsible for the batteries or the cells of the solar car. And then the other 2 days, so this event is going to occur on the 9th of August. And then from the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th of August, there is going to be online events where different lecturers as well as guest speakers will speak to you about what engineering is and all the different kinds of engineering that we offer at the Faculty of Engineering at the NWU. So yes, I would like to encourage you to really register. The link is available on the screen. Um, you can also, I will also send the link later in the WhatsApp group as well. And remember, there's a bonus. For the first 200 girls that register, you will also receive a free goodie bag. And I can tell you the contents in that goodie bag, I'm not going to give it away now, but it's very cool. There might be some solar car thing in there as well, just a hint. But we'll see. You'll have to register to order to get that goodie bag and to see what it is going to be in that goodie bag actually. Okay, so let's move on with the program. So today, the 21st of June, it is the 21st of June, pardon me. So the technical content for today is preparing your final entry. So by now you should be at the end of this whole Modiragatsi competition, and I hope you really learned something and that you developed yourself as well. And you should be busy just tying up all the loose ends and preparing your final entry. And on the topic of personal development, we are going to speak about sharpening yourself as well. Okay, so just to give you a general overview of the training that you've received thus far. So we started out with design thinking, then we went over to computational thinking. After that, we did user experience design, mobile app development, intellectual property protection, and finally, after this week, you should be done with pitching a business idea and how to really present your idea to someone. And in terms of your personal development thus far, we've covered topics like body, communication, mind, and after today, we will also be done with daring to dream. So I would like to welcome Ms. Hanley Degnar from the Center of Health and Human Performance to speak to us today about sharpening yourself. So I would just, before you take over, Hanley, I would just remind you that you can ask any questions on the WhatsApp group so long while the presentation is happening, and then we will answer your questions afterwards in the Q&A. But that is all from my side for now. So, Honey, will you please take over? Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So let me just share my screen, Karen, as soon. Yeah. Thank you. You should be able to see it now.
Yes, I can see yours.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about sharpened skills. So now you might be wondering, what in the world is that? But I hope by the end of the session, you will have a good understanding of that, and I hope you'll be excited to work on this. So today is our last session with you, and we trust that you found the information over the past 11 weeks helpful, and especially helpful in making some small incremental changes in your life. The information in the previous sessions may be overwhelming. Still, we will help you put it together into a plan for you and for yourself today. So keep a piece of paper and a pencil at hand to draw your super cape and jot down 7 points to help you take small steps forward. Okay, so we'll give you a minute just to go and grab paper and a pencil. Because we would like you to have this plan somewhere on a piece of paper and put it somewhere in your room where you can revisit it often. Okay, so everybody back with a paper and pencil. So you have hopes and dreams for your future. Maybe you can't wait to write grade 12 and explore the world. Perhaps you are a bit worried and not sure about what you want and what you want to do. Or you may also imagine yourself in many different exciting and future scenarios, or you may just be enjoying every day and not thinking about the future that much, just hoping to get to the next grade and the next grade and the next grade. But at some point, we all think about the future as our brains anticipate the next step. It works to get you to the next day. And our brains constantly complete patterns and always move you forward. That's what your brain does. So to aim high for the future is easy, but to fly there takes a bit more effort. It's a bit like the girls in the picture aiming high and looking at a far off goal through binoculars, but sitting on a magic case that may fall at any time. So we sometimes have all our dreams packed in our suitcases and we're ready to go. But is that really the way to go? All of us experience challenges and barriers on the way up. Advice and assistance from adults and your friends may be helpful, just like a magic suitcase packed with guidelines, suggestions, do's and don'ts. But you are the only person who can aim and shoot towards the dream. You can be the only person to fly that suitcase. And the thing is, suitcases rarely fly. But you have an extraordinary brain and all its capacity to help you. So let's focus on what our brains can do to help us get to the best future for all of us and for you as a group participating in this competition. Your brain is your superpower, and the one thing only you have control over. Your mindset, thinking, and choices are the factors that will shape your future. So if you dare to dream, you have to ensure that you have a super cape of well developed brain based skills tied around your neck to fly off to a bright future. And that's where sharpened skills come in. So now let's guide you in designing your super cape and help you fly. First, take 5 sticky notes or pieces of paper. With Presti can work just as well. And we are going to design the dream that's going to be the patch or the superpower patch on your super cape. On the first sticky note, jot down all the things you really enjoy doing now or know how to do well. So think about those things that you never complain about, that if somebody asks you to do it, you jump in and you do it, or the things that you choose to do every day. And maybe add something that you want to do in the future, things that you think, I wouldn't mind doing this as part of my job one day. So jot that down. Now, on the second sticky note, jot down the things you thought you may want to do as an adult. Those things that you dream about, those jobs that you consider, the future you want. Okay, you jotted that down? Okay, now next, put sticky note 1 and 2 apart, with enough space for you to fit the remaining 3 sticky notes between sticky note 1 and sticky note 2. On the remaining 3 sticky notes, write down some steps to get you from sticky note 1 to sticky note 2. Think about the things that you may need, the skills you may need, the things you may have to do to get to sticky note 2. You may change the sticky notes as often as you want, or even discard, but always start the activity in the same way. So if you don't do it today, do it tomorrow and every other day, to just shape your dream for yourself in your mind. So it could be something like things that you like to do every day is playing with dogs, you like hiking, you like to be outdoors, and you like helping others. And then you're thinking, what would you like to do one day? You would like to design a facility where people can train dogs to help persons with disability, or maybe develop, train sniffer dogs. And then the sticky notes in between would be the things that you need to do to get there. Maybe find out what qualifications you need, what the training is about, when and where that can happen. Oh, and then you might find that you can get a puppy and train up a puppy. You may get involved with an organization like SA Guide Dogs. And that brings us to networking, asking these people, what you need to do, how you can get to it. And then you might end up with raising a puppy for a year to be part of the guide dog, the puppies that they are going to train. So that is just an example. I'm sure all of you have many different things that you think about and things that you enjoy. So once we've done that, do you remember that we spoke about how you look, sound, and act in earlier sessions? And how important that is when we communicate with others, and the impression that we leave when we meet other people. We said to take a good look at yourself in a mirror and to think about what you see. Are you neat, clean, and tucked in? How's your posture? Straight back, level shoulders, and head up with a slight chin tuck? How do you sound? What are you thinking? And what are you doing? How do you act? So all of those things are important. And if you can't remember all of this, go back to the previous sessions and just recap and review some of the information there. But the next thing you have to do is to ask an adult or two that you trust, and maybe a good friend, to tell you what people see when they meet you. What impression do you leave on others? Ask them how confident you come across. And be mindful that being overconfident is not always the best. Ask them how you sound and how easy it is to talk to you. Do they have any suggestions for you? And jot all of that down. Do not be offended. It's all part of designing your super cape. All right, so keep that piece of paper at hand. The next thing to do is to take a bit of time and write down all your strengths, all your weaknesses, And also rely on the things that people point out to you. Think about the comments that you've received from others. Think about the feedback that you receive from your teachers, your friends, important adults in your life. What do you think they would say is your strengths and your weaknesses? Then also take time and think about opportunities in your life, things at school, things at home in your community that may be opportunities, and then also write down all the barriers. This is important to give you a bird's eye view of who you are and what you want to work on. Right, so I'm guessing that's going to take a bit of time. So if you only put one note in each of those blocks, one in the strength block, one in the weaknesses block, one in the opportunities block, and one in the barriers block, you would have something to work with as we are going to design your super cape now. Now, draw your super cape on your piece of paper, and then add the sticky notes as the superhero patch on your cape. You know, like Superman and Batman, they have that patch in the middle of the cape. Put your sticky notes there. That is your superhero patch. The next part of your design is all the weaknesses and barriers you are aware of or that people pointed out to you. But please don't draw it. Draw it on pieces of paper and stick it onto your super cape also. Because these are the things that you can do better by making small incremental changes to your thinking and your doing habits. And you want to get rid of most of those white sticky notes. Okay, we will always have some sticky notes. You know, it's like a superhero flying around, but that cape might get a little bit of oil on, a little bit of dirt, and you need to always work on it to keep that cape pristine and clean. Now, if you've done that, now also write or draw all the things that is your strengths on your cape, but use the best creative and permanent ways you can think of. So you can be really creative, use different colors, but write it. And if you can't do the exercise now, do yourself a favor and do it this evening, tomorrow, when you have time. It is important to design this cape for yourself. So now, after you've done all of this, that cape resembles you. That is you. Be proud and take charge by powering up your brain for optimal performance and embedding the magic energy that makes your cape fly. And we're going to put that magic energy in the lining underneath your cape. Those are the things and the habits that you have to work on every day. And you won't have to work on everything that we've discussed over the past 11 sessions. Some of the topics that we discussed will be more appropriate or more fitting to where your weaknesses and strengths lies. So go through those sessions and find the information that's really that really has value for you, and put this right underneath the cape or the inside of your cape. So at the inside of your cape, we are going to jot down 7 steps to making this cape fly and help you soar towards your dream. The first thing is write your values. Choose 3 to 5, or maybe you could choose 7 values and write it for yourself. These are the principles or standards of your behavior, the things that you value in life. And it's the values that will influence your judgment in every situation that you get into. And it will also guide you towards what is important for you in life. So maybe you can already write it down and you've already thought about it in the session that we spoke about values, and journaling. So write down all your values, because those values are going to guide you. That's step 1. And now we're going to get to step 2. It is about making sure that you have a playful mindset. A playful mindset doesn't necessarily mean that you are just filled with jokes all the time. Remember, we said it's a state of mind that your brain needs to be at its best, to be very creative, relaxed, and be thinking and taking decisions in the best way possible. It is about tapping into energy and enthusiasm for all that you do, being proactive and taking the initiative, and finding the fun in even monotonous tasks. We know that play empowers people to be flexible thinkers and to be very creative in problem solving. So that is step number 2. So I hope you've written down, have a playful mindset. Again, if you're not sure, go back to one of the previous sessions. I think it was the first session, to help you find the information you need there. The next thing is take care of your brain. Think about how you can exercise. Think about what is on your plate and how you can protect your body and brain. You know that exercise is really important because that helps. It makes sure that your body is healthy. What is on your plate is also important for your gut-brain axis. You remember that? The story of 2 brains? Well, exercise and what is on your plate is important aspects of making sure that your gut-brain axis, or the 2 brains in your body, is really working well together and allow your body and your brain to be at optimal performance every day as you go forward. And then also remember that your brain needs you to be safe. Take care of where you go, how you protect your body. Take care of not getting into dangerous situations. Make sure that you can protect yourself wherever you are. Step 4 is think about the conversations that you have. Remember that conversations, we often think that we know what another person are thinking, and we think that a person is listening to us, but you have to realize that the information that you are speaking is not necessarily what the other person is thinking. So conversations is often inside our head, between 2 people, and also inside the other person's head. So remember that conversations, your best conversations will be when you have neural coupling, when you are aware that what you are saying and how you sound, what gestures you are using, is creating a feeling and an emotion and another in the other person. It's less about what you're saying, but it's more about how you're saying things. So just to remind you, is choose your words carefully. Make sure that you listen intently. Always ensure that you have a 2-way conversation. And then if you have to think about how do you communicate and have conversations to establish good and healthy relationship, go back to these 3 acronyms: Dear Man, Fast, and Gift. If you remember, if you can remind yourself of what those acronyms stand for, and keep it in mind when you have difficult conversations, that will really help you to build good relationships going forward in your life. Then, step 5 is review the information that we gave you on mindfulness, on self-regulation and coping, on resilience, and on networking, because all of these things and all the information in there, and that was quite a lot, is based on how your brain works, how your brain makes decisions, and on how you feel and function every day. And to be at your best and have optimal performance every day, you need to revisit that information as often as you can. Then one more thing is take the picture of your brain, the one that we had in the first slide when we started, well, actually in the second slide, but when we started off the plan for you to put this all together. Is that dream that you've put in there in that cloud with your sticky notes? Revisit that often. It doesn't have to be every day, maybe once a month, maybe every 6 months. Just see if you are taking steps getting closer to your dream. Do you want to adapt or change your dream a little bit? Assess whether you need to change your dream. Assess whether you need extra steps, and assess whether your direction and the steps that you chose towards your dream is still the things that you need to do. And sometimes we really get derailed. And that's where it helps to review your dream as often as you can. But then 2 more superpowers. And that's going to put the power into you, into your super cape, and you flying off to your dream. The first thing is to read as often as you can. Now, sometimes, Tina, I just think, oh no, that's really a boring thing to do. I read every day when I go to school, but try and read different things like magazines, advertisements, anything. As long as you read as much as you can. To put it quite simply, the more that you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. And that's a quote from Dr. Seuss, and something that's really true. And what does reading do for you? It stimulates your brain. You can only get clever if you read. It reduces stress. It increases your vocabulary. So having great command over the language is known to help many in their professional and academic life. With better vocabulary and comes better knowledge. And you get to fill yourself with self-confidence when sitting in a group with a knowledgeable audience. So the more you read, the more you will be able to participate in conversations and know about things that people talk about, especially when you are trying to act on the networking skills that we've tried to teach you about. Reading also improves your memory. One of the greatest benefits of reading daily is that your brain becomes super powerful. An amazing fact about our brain is that it can retain a great amount of information. And with every new memory, your brain creates new brain pathways or synapses. And by reading it, you also get to improve your focus and attention. Reading improves our communication skills, and it also allows for better writing. And we also get better analytical thinking skills. All the things you need to be very successful in life and in future employment. And the last skill that you really have to think about, the last power, is the ability to manage your time effectively. Time management is the key to efficient working, the key to academic success, and the key to be a very good employee or manager one day. Time management is the ability to use one's time effectively or productively when we are faced with difficult tasks or when we are faced with a lot of work to do. It is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between different activities and really thinking about what is really important and not spend too much time on the things that is of less importance. And that's really an art and a skill to acquire. Many of us procrastinate. We do the little things that's not really important and waste our time. And then we get very anxious when we only have a limited amount of time to try and get great work done. So, with all of that, I hope you've been writing and drawing and putting these points down. But if you can use this super cape that we've tried to put together today and also review all the information that you received over the past 11 weeks, you will have all the knowledge to sharpen your skills and be the best person you can. And remember, despite your challenges or any of the difficult situations that you face, despite the barriers, you are in control of your brain. It's your brain and the way that you think and that you act that shapes your future. So use your brains and use these skills and really be the best person you can. And with that, our team would want to just say to all of you, dare to dream and practice, and all of the best wishes for you in the final stages of this competition. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shandy. Um, so yes, the floor is now open for any questions. I just quickly want to share my screen again. Okay, yes, so the floor is open for questions. You are more than welcome to post your questions in the WhatsApp group as well as in the YouTube live chat. I will continue to monitor the YouTube live chat and the WhatsApp group. But while you are busy formulating your questions and typing them, I'm just quickly going to remind you about the final submission of your final report and the reason why the Modiragatsi actually occurred. So you will submit your final entry on 5 July 2022. And then, as Prof. Lenta explained in last week's session, after this, the top 25 will be the 25 finalist teams that will be announced. And these 25 teams, as well as their teachers, will be interviewed by a panel of judges to select a winner per category. And you will be our guests of honor at the prize giving event hosted on 9 August 2022 at Siemens Park in Midrand and at the engineering building in Potchefstroom. And at this event, which I was also elaborating about at the beginning of this session, a category winner for each category and the overall winner will be announced. And the overall winner of the trip abroad will be one of the 5 category winners. So I hope that these prizes are really going to encourage you to really put in your last effort. It is the final entry now, and if you are behind with any assignments, don't worry. If there aren't any submissions open, just let us know. WhatsApp your student assistant. It is a little bit of a difficult time because some of the student assistants are still writing exams, but you're more than welcome to WhatsApp your student assistants to let them know, listen, this activity is not open yet or not open anymore. Can I please resubmit? And remember that you cannot win if you did not submit all your activities. So all your activities have to be submitted. If you did not pass one activity, please resubmit it. And this is all going to play a role of the final winner or of the choice that we're going to make about the final winner. And yes, like Prof. Nenta also mentioned many previous times, that the winner will win a scholarship from Siemens where you can study anything in engineering or business at any university in the country, as well as winning a trip to Germany at the end of the year. So yes, let that encourage you. I know you're tired after this term. I'm also tired after the semester, and you just want to go on holiday now. But this is the final stretch, and you can really the prize is going to be amazing. So yes, put in the last effort, and if you yeah, just put in all your effort that you can right now. Even if you do not win, you're still going to develop yourself, and that is something that I tried to say in the last session where I was hosting, that any time that you spend on developing yourself is not time wasted. It is time put in the money bank, in the investment, and you're definitely going to use those skills in future, even if you don't even realize it. So yes, I don't see any questions on the YouTube live chat or in the WhatsApp group. Um, Let me just send a message to remind you um, to ask any questions in the live chat. Okay, and then I just want to go back to program. Yes, so just to have a look again at the judging criteria. So the judges are going to look at the following topics: an inspirational idea, the potential impact that your idea will have, your passion for STEM, and STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and the way that you communicate. So I think that when you are preparing your video as well as submitting your final report, keep these things in mind. Keep these criteria that the judges are going to look at in mind. For example, with communication, ensure that you prepared before you start taking the video, that you know what you're going to say, that you don't hesitate too much and you don't freak out while you're taking the video. It is definitely going to save you a lot of time when you're taking the video, when you've prepared before the time, and try to incorporate all these different things that the judges are going to look at in your final entry as well. I haven't seen any questions yet. Really quiet today. But yes, I would just like to thank Hanley and say, yes, I think this session really wrapped up this whole personal development program that we started 12 weeks ago. It has been a long journey, but I'm sure all the participants learned so much about themselves. I also learned a lot about myself as well. So yes, thank you, Hanley. I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to give 5 more minutes for any questions regarding it can be regarding anything. And then after that, I think we're going to end the session. It's not a very long session today. Um, but yes, only are there any comments from your side? Any final comments from your side?
I think it's actually a good thing if people don't have too many questions because it means that we've wrapped up all the information well enough. They know where to find the rest of the information, and I hope they have a plan. And I was just thinking when we designed this whole program, coming up with a super cape idea was a little bit of a yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge to find something that where we can wrap all of this up, and drawing your own super cape was a fun activity for some of us in the team, and we when we drew our own capes and put our own weaknesses and strengths there, it was surprising. Nobody really sort of talked about it. And a week after, it was like, I have my super cape abilities, my super cape weaknesses. So everybody was thinking about it. And it's actually a nice way of just reminding yourself of who you are and be proud of who you are. But also, we're always a work in progress. There's always something that we can improve. Um, and we do realize that all the information that we've given to your um, to the people participating in this competition is overwhelming. It's things that they haven't heard about before and maybe haven't discussed with their parents and teachers. So yeah, We were hoping not to have too many questions tonight. We were hoping to wrap it up quickly and in a way that is easy for people to understand. So, yeah, Karen, so I won't be too, yeah, I would be happy not to have questions tonight.
Yes, I
We
would
just leave
say job
everything
well done.
go.
Job well done. I didn't see any questions yet, and let me just check my phone again. I didn't see any questions on the WhatsApp group either. But yes, I really think that the information that you've shared with the learners and the Modiragatsi participants is really it's useful information, and it's not only relevant to high school learners. Even you even used it as lecturers at the university, and I think these skills that they gained over the last 12 weeks, they're really going to use for the rest of their lives. And
Mm.
something that you can go back on and use again and do it again, draw another cape. Over in a few years' time, your cape will look different. So, yes, I think thank you so much for joining us, and I would just like to thank the Center for Health and Human Performance for presenting this course to the Modiragatsi participants. Uh, yes, I'd just like to say to the audience that these lessons or yeah over the 12 weeks are going to stay on YouTube for I don't know how long, forever. Hopefully, it's on the Northwest University's YouTube page. So in a year's time, if you remember something or something sparks your memory again, you can go back and you can go look at all the videos again and just to remind yourself. Okay, I think this is the final call for any questions. No questions on the YouTube live chat. Oh, one comment or question. Let me quickly read it. Okay, this is a question. Is sharpening yourself different or similar to leadership skills?
Well, to be a good leader, you will need these skills. So, this is definitely part of leadership. Um, and although leadership skills can be packaged a little bit different, these are the personal skills that will help you to be a good leader in any context that you might find yourself in.
Okay, thank you, Anli. I definitely agree with that. Um, I don't see any other questions from audience side. Um, yes, so then I think I'll end off for us. I think I'll end the session off. I would like to remind you about social media and staying in touch with us. This is really, if you're struggling with your final report, you can really ask your student assistants if there's anything that you're still wondering about. This is the final stretch. I'm done with my exams now, so you can WhatsApp me and I will have time to reply and really help you. So yes, then I'm going to bid you farewell. Good luck with all your final submissions as well as your exams if you're not finished with your school exams as well. I do understand it is a difficult time during the year this time, and time management is definitely something that you must have learned over this whole course as well. But yes, thank you for joining us for 12 weeks, for being persistent and logging in every Tuesday at 5 to join us. And then good luck with your submissions. And then I really hope to see you either in Potchefstroom or in Johannesburg at the Femgineering event where we will announce all the winners. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye bye.